everyone and welcome to my Flosstube channel. Coco's tail is throwing things on the floor. So this is Coco, there she is, and I'm Zoe, so my pronouns are she, her. Should we try and, there you go, sit you on the arm of the chair so you can sit up a bit. She doesn't want to be in the video today, she wants to go outside despite it being like November and really cold and cloudy and very miserable looking out there. She very much wants to go and see the wildlife. So I did promise that if she would come and wave on the video, I would let her out. But yes, so here's Coco. You're going to wave to the nice people, to all your fans that only tune in to see you. Yes, hello. No, she's done. She's bored now. So, but yes, welcome to my Flosstube channel. So a bit later than I planned this time. So we are trying... this is the third time filming, so third time lucky, we should be okay. And yes, got lots of bits to show you today. Have my whips. Oh, there we go. So have my whips to show you that I've been working on. Have some shopping because we went to the knitting and stitching show in London. A few little plans towards what I'm going to be doing towards the end of the year, and that's it. So we'll start with our whips first. I'm just going to pause and let Coco out like promised. I'm sure she'll want to come back in about 3 minutes, but you know, we'll give it a go. There we go. So I've got my book of days here that I'm really proud that I'm still using. We're all the way in November now, but yeah. So in October, when I filmed my last video, I had just finished my Live, Love, Lobotomy. Live, Laugh, Lobotomy? Live, Love, yes. That one. But I just finished that. So the next thing that I did after that was I went to my We're Properly board and rolled. I landed on a community chest card. And I picked that, and it was that I had to reverse the direction of my next roll. So I ended up going back up that same side. I rolled a number 10 and landed on my Humans sal. So this is Humans After All by Clouds Factory. And this was hard work. This was hard work, this one. So I rolled a 10, so that meant 1,000 stitches to be done. So here it is, all of it. And what I worked on was basically this little piece up here. So I do love this fabric. Can't remember what this fabric is. It's the called for, because I bought it as a kit. So it's whatever the called for one is. But it's a really good neutral. So I'm just going to fold it up so I can zoom in and show you what I actually worked on. Here we go. There we go. So we've got a Viking in his ship up here, and then a mosque down here, and almost finished this guy. In fact, I didn't even finish. I think I must have finished the strand of floss that was, because I only got halfway through his face. This was hard work. So I made so many mistakes and had to restitch so much of this. I don't even know why. It's not even hard. Like, it's a block of colour. It's not even like confetti or anything. But I made so many counting errors, mainly in this building, and because the building was symmetrical, it really put off where the building was going to be. You know, it was going to be this side of the building higher than the other side, so I had to redo that. Then the pattern, I couldn't work out how these were stitched. I don't even know if it's going to focus. I'll put in a zoomed in picture. But yeah, so I did message Clouds Factory like on Facebook because I couldn't find anything, and they did eventually get back to me, but I was impatient and I'd already stitched it how I thought it wanted to be stitched. And no, it was supposed to be just crosses, but I did the halves that I did, so the strings, which works, you know, it looks fine. So that's a loose thread, that white bit, so that's just a tail. But yeah, and then I actually ended up, you can't quite see it, I don't think. You might be able to see on the zoomed in picture, but this line here, so this first line of the brown at the bottom, I ended up doing that over 3 holes instead of just 2 when I started. And then because it took me so long to notice. I'd then already sort of counted down and worked a bit down here, and then sort of worked around and up, so then these bits were off as well, and I couldn't be dealing with then unpicking all of that again after I'd already stitched it so many times. So I just had to kind of fudge it and compensate so that it lined up to this guy's leg properly at this end. So there's a few more where I had to do like just over one space or over 3 spaces to kind of fudge it on this side. And you know what, I think it looks fine. Like up close you can tell, but no one's ever going to be that close to the stitching. So yeah, so I only did, what was it, 894 stitches. So I didn't make my 1,000, but I didn't count bits that I'd restitched after unpicking them. So I figured, well, I probably had to restitch about 100 stitches, so I was going to count that, and I was that done that I was like, you know what, it's almost, I'm calling it there, that's it, I don't even care. I'm like, we're just going to pretend it's 1,000. But I was so done with this piece. I do love this piece and I love working on it, but just this took me out here, like just completely, like I was so done. But yes, so that was my first piece that I did there. So then after that I wanted something nice and easy, so I went onto my castle walls, which is my goal piece. I want to get this finished by the end of the year. So let's try and pull this out. So how many times did I work on this? Was it just the once? I think I just worked on this the once this month, and my goal was to get the light blue section finished for here, which I did. So that was the light blue section all finished, which was my goal. So there we go. So that was nice and easy. There was no unpicking, no mistakes, and that the only thing I ran into was, because I stitched this with my sort of twin needles. So where I'd sort of started stitching in this corner and I threaded both needles and started and then worked out, I then found that because of the variegation in the thread, I was actually mirroring the variegation up this point, which isn't too obvious on camera, but it was really obvious to me in person. And I thought, right, I've either got to keep going with mirroring it across the whole thing, or stop mirroring my stitches on the 2 sides. But then it was like, which is going to look worse? It being half symmetrical and half not, or it being the only symmetrically stitched block in this entire piece. So yeah, so I did manage to sort of break away a little bit, sort of towards this top part and then coming around here. But yeah, but that was definitely an issue I ran into that I hadn't even thought of until I looked at it, and I'm like, this looks remarkably, you know, symmetrical for no reason. So yeah, had to fix that. But yeah, but that is the last of the large light blue sections. So all I've got left is the navy blue to finish filling that circle like this, the border, and then 2 more light blue sections in there. So and I will pick that back up when I show when I talk about my goals. And I've just stabbed myself with a needle. Let's put that needle back on the magnet. Okay, let's not fold that up like that again. Just put that down. Right, so that was nice and relaxing. So I got that part done. So I'm just going to pull this door too, because it is actually cold out there, and Coco has realised it's cold out there and she's come in. So yes. Right, so then next I picked up my Haid, so my bath time. As I mentioned before, I can't hold this piece up anymore. It's too heavy for my shoulders. So I will insert photos just of this one. I worked on this twice throughout the month in order to reach my goal that I'd set. So I wanted to do 2,000 stitches, and I did 2,132 stitches. So again, this is one that I think I'd reached the 2,000 mark, but it was quite late in the evening, so I just kept stitching for the rest of the night. So that's, you know, went over a bit. But yeah, so I worked on that for 2 days and then another 2 days. So I've gotten that. So then my next roll I'm over properly bored. I can't remember whether it was this one or the next one, but I ended up on, this one I drew, I think I drew a chance card on this roll, or a bus card, like a transport card, that was it. So I had to move to the corner, and the corner I moved to was the New Start corner, which was good because I had hoped to have a new start this month, so that kind of took away the guilt for that. So that was my new start, that I will show you in a bit. And then I landed on a station, so I did 710 stitches. And I'm just going to pause this and go grab it because it's slightly out of my reach over there. So I realised I didn't actually mention what this was, I just gibbered for a minute there, but this is Market Stall by Haid. I think this is a Ciro Manchetti. Although now I've said that, I've realised I've forced future Zoe to go and Google it, so sorry. But this is the piece that I was racked from Dobby over at Covered in Floss, and I decided to start this one slap bang in the middle. So I'm doing this on a 36 count cloud brown even weave, 1 strand half cross over 1 thread, and that is where I am up to right now. So I'm starting in the middle and I'm working in diagonals in a diamond shape, and yeah, there we go. So we've reached, this is the bottom of the flower stall, or the shelf, you know, the bottom shelf of the flower stall. So we've reached that there, and yeah, so still loving all the colours, still hating the fact that I have so many ends. Starting in the middle, so many colours, sorry. Starting in the middle meant I started where all the confetti was, so there's so many colours. And one thing I did notice with this is I'm used to pulling off an end that's a length that's probably about this long, it's about 3 foot, and it's too long when I'm working, because I'm doing just over 36 count and I'm only doing one strand on a half cross. I'm not folding that strand in half, so it's staying at the 3 lengths. And then because there's so much confetti, I'm basically doing two half stitches, you know, 2 little squares, and then parking that thread, and then I have about this much thread parked. So these are bobbins, and they are literally full of the ends. So I have 1 coming out of each of the 4 edges. So I have two there, 2 there. But yeah, there's so much. So I am trying to, obviously once I've used the 6 strands that I've already pre-cut at that length, the next time I pull a length, I am trying to pull it shorter, or you know, when I start a new one, trying to remember to cut it a bit shorter, because I don't need all of that it just hanging around. Because obviously when I'm working, so when I work on a side, I unravel it from the bobbin and then just leave it hanging, sort of thing, and it hangs all the way off the fabric, all the way off the frame, and most of the way to the floor. And then guess who comes along and goes, oh, there's some string, let's play with that. So yeah, it's forever getting pulled, you know. But yeah, so I did 710 stitches on that. So, oh, let me try and fold that up without, my 2 needle minders are too close together. How did I have this folded? I can't remember how I folded this. Oh, let's go like that. Tell you what, I'll put it away like that, and then that can be future Zoe's problem to deal with. She can refold that up. So, then next I picked up my Pandemic. So this, again, this was another one of my monthly goal pieces. So I want to get 1,500 stitches on it this month, and I worked on it in 2 sessions and managed to get, I literally just looked at that, 1,496, so close enough to the 1,500. But yeah, and worked a bit more on this top section. So I think I was working on this piece here. So finished this little deer, came up there. It's got yes, that is a bird on top of the deer. Didn't notice that before. And yeah, it started coming up this section. So this is a 40 count piece of linen from a dye that no longer dyes, I'm afraid. But I do love these colours. You sort of got a glimpse of it there before it went bright. So it's quite saturated. And I'm using the Silks For You thread floss in the undyed colour, the white or the plain or the whatever it's called. But yes. So that was that one. Oh. There is a needle in the top of the bag. Let's take that out because it's also a rusty needle. So let's get rid of that. Okay. So did not expect that. I landed on Max Cat. So this was I rolled a 9 and my dimensions kit. So this is Max the cat. My mum bought me this for my birthday a couple of years ago, and I'm stitching this on, I swapped out the called for fabric, so I'm stitching this on a piece of linen that needs serging, but I did not actually, I obviously cut off the piece that has the label on, but I think it's a Picture This Plus in murky, no not murky, can't remember, but yeah, it is a Picture This Plus because I remember cutting it, and for some reason I started upside down because I normally start with the selvage at the top, and this time for whatever reason I did not, but I started with the top cap there, and I rolled a 9, so I worked, so I'd done most of his paw, so I just worked in his face, and it didn't occur to me till after I'd picked the colours to work on that I probably shouldn't have done them in this order, because these eyes, seriously, if this didn't, you know, this is like, I should have bought this out at Halloween, because these eyes are so freaky, the way they just stare into the depths of your soul, because they don't have eyelids yet, because I haven't stitched the eyelids, and they don't have their pupils properly because I haven't done the back stitch. Again, here's some waist threads, because I'm like lazy and I can't be bothered with like turning the fabric over when I'm stitching, so I just tail off my ends at the front and deal with it later. You know, I'll be honest, that's what it is. You know, I really should have put the camera closer because it's really hurting my shoulders having to hold these so close. I'm going to scooch forward to the front of my chair. Okay, I'm a bit closer now. Hello. But yeah, so just worked in his face. So did a few colours around here. Also noticed I'd made a mistake. I've forgotten whether I double checked this, but I added or took away one extra stitch up at this top bit. So this section was kind of one stitch either this way or this way. What I can't remember checking is if actually I still remembered to make the square the right size, because obviously these squares, there's 3 squares there that are all the same. So if I've made this top one too short, one too big, I'm gonna have to remember to mimic that on the other 2. But I can't remember if I checked that or not. So it's something I will have to remember next time I pick this out to double check. See, I remember that I made a mistake, but I don't remember if I fixed said mistake. But because I'd done the background so long ago, I can't remember now if I fixed it as I went or if I did not. But luckily it's a cat, so if his fur is 1 stitch too short, you don't notice. Like, it doesn't matter. It's not like the building that I was working on the humans, where if one side of the building was too high you would have seen it. This, it's a cat, like, it's fine. So yeah, so put in 897 stitches into him, or and that, but yeah, so almost done. I have done some of the back stitch on here. I don't like it. I think there's back stitch like around his fur, like these little lines that I haven't done, and then obviously here. The only back stitch on the border is that line, and it's the white stitches that were really long. So I don't know if you can sort of see. So you've got a dark brown line here, and then this white line in the middle, which it was stitched as long stitch. Sorry, my arms are starting to hurt holding this up. But if you can see here, where are we? Let me get a fingernail underneath. I haven't got any. I've cut my nails, so they're all short. But you can sort of see there, they're quite long, and they're only sort of couched down at the, or not even couched, I think I actually did it as a back stitch, but they're tucked down at where they meet actual stitches. And I'm still not 100% sure if I like that, or whether to unpick it, you know, cut that out and then redo it as sort of like one line and then couch it down in those places instead. I don't know if it's showing up. You know, it seems very broken. You can see the bits where it dips in. I'm not 100% sure I like it. I've never really couched anything properly before, so I'm not sure if that's what would fix that issue. But yeah, not sure if I like that. But obviously that is a problem for future me next time I pick out said project. But yeah, so that was that roll there, and then next I picked back up my bath time to do the other half of the stitches on. And then I had a next roll, and this one I landed on a community chest square because I remember the card said that, I can't remember what the reason was, but I know I got a discount on my next roll, so I halved my next roll. So I think I rolled a 5, but then it meant I only had to do 250 stitches instead of 500. And I landed on my Turkish Angora, which is a DMC chart. I've not picked this one up all year, and actually when I picked it up I really enjoyed working on it. So I'm like, oh, I want to keep working on that. I don't want to only have to do 250 stitches. But yeah, so I'm doing this on the Kit Ada, so it's 14 count Ada. It's not too bad to work on, and I've had an issue with a lot of other Adas where it's quite painful to get the needle to go through. I think this one, the holes seem to be a bit bigger already. Like, you know, some Adas you look at and it's almost like the holes are sealed still, as if like the starch that they've washed the fabric in has kind of sealed over the holes and you've got to pierce through that starch. This one, the holes, you can see straight through the holes. There's nothing blocking them, so it's a lot easier to get. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I also don't know what fabric this is, whether it's a Zweigart or whether it's some other brand. I can't see it written on very obviously, so I don't know if DMC has their own brand of Ada. I don't know. Anyway, not sure if I took a picture of this where it was, where I started, but I had sort of worked just this dark blue and some of the light blue round here. And what I decided to do, instead of carrying on cross country, was translate this into working in Royal Rows. So instead of my normal diagonal, I thought the first one of this series that I did was the first time I'd ever done parking, and I did do a 10 by 10 block and then park and then do each 10 by 10 block as I went. And I did quite enjoy that. And that's what sort of then got me into finding other ways of parking and etc. And I didn't find that it was making lines, seam lines. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because with it being the Ada, that Ada fabric is already so structured that it doesn't matter the way the way I'm stitching, it doesn't pull the fabric in any direction. I don't know. But either way, I thought going in Royal Rows, which is where you do a block of 10 by 20 and then you sort of park either into the next castle, which is the next 10 by 20 block, or in the dungeon, which is the 10 by 20 below. I I'm a little bit more freeform with where I park, because I will sort of I will try and go for the closest place, so I'm not carrying the thread too much, or I will go for the most convenient spot, thinking, well, if I park down here, that means I have to start a brand new thread over there, so I'll just go over there and then I don't have to start a new thread, you know. I'm really bad at following rules, so but yeah, so I translated this into that. So I basically I filled in this tower and then just started filling in my towers as I came along, and I'm going to go all the way along and then come down and fill in the rest of this and then just continue to work like that. So only had to do 250 stitches, which wasn't a lot, but it sort of got me just onto this ear piece, and yeah, really enjoyed working on this piece again. So I do have, so I don't think I've got pictures of where I started, no, of the other whip that I've done, but I think there is a picture on the back. So I've done this top one here, that's the version. I don't have the tabby, I don't think. What I have is a black and white cat, one which isn't pictured, which I thought was, but is not. So I have the black and white. I might get the tabby as well, but you know, I have the Persian, I have the Turkish Angora. I can't remember what the black and white one's called. It's not just called a black and white cat. I don't think it's called a tuxedo, but I can't remember. So that'll be the third. So whether I look at getting the fourth one as well, I'm not sure. But also, I don't know if there's just four. There might be more than four. So these are, oh, they're DMC, but they're Jane Netley Mayhew. I do have some books of her designs, which I bought because I really wanted to stitch some of her designs. Have I stitched anything out of any of the books I have? No. I keep buying charts and patterns and kits and things. So I do want to go and start stitching out of some of the books I have. I've recently been reorganising my shelves and looking at all the crafty books that I have, all the cross stitch books that I have. There's like a whole shelf of cross stitch books. So yeah, I mean, if anyone would like me to go through some of the books I have, or maybe do some flip throughs of some of the older books especially. I mean, I know a lot of people have seen the Max Pigeon one that just came out with all the foresty things, but some of the older books, if you know, if you'd like a flip through, or just a nose to see what I've got, let me know, and I will more than happily sit and go through my books. I love my books, so I will happily sit and go through all my books with you, if you are interested in that at all. But yes, so that was my Turkish Angora. That was my last roll this month. I'm gonna put these back in the box because they're all falling over, because I was emptying the box, so I went. But yeah, so then I went back and did the last little bit on pandemic. Back in the box, and then that meant that I got to have my new start. Now I had planned for it for like October the 31st, but we weren't quite at October the 31st, but I had said that, you know, I wanted to get my goals done, and since I'd achieved them, I was like, hey, that means I can start my new start. Are you going outside again? Are you kidding me? Like she's just opened the door. Like, sorry, you got to look there at my very cluttered house. But she literally just went over, pushed the door open, didn't go outside, and just turned round. I'm like, no, we will have this door shut again, thank you. I'm like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, don't you do it again. Oh my god, this cat, seriously. But where was I? Yes, so I started my skulls. So this is a study of skulls, Sal, by the Stitch Crypt. So let's have a look. So I'm working this on a piece of coffee craft fabrics, so linen. So this is a 28 count. And that is this colour here. Love this colour, love those blues. It is. So I picked this side of the fabric just because it had a bit more of the light blue at the top. That was it. And I started at the top. So this was the cell, so we had, you know, number 1, 2, 3, you know, went across the shelves like that. The only colour I haven't got, so I kitted this up with raw broderie floss from Lindsay at Blushing Pink Stitches, and she didn't have colour 890, so obviously I didn't buy that colour because it wasn't there. I'm sure I have some 890 DMC upstairs, but every time I went upstairs I forgot to get out the 890 and bring it down. So this is missing a load of the dark green. This is missing its stems, which are also in the dark green. More dark green in this flower, dark green in the shadow of this snake, and dark green leaves here. But apart from that, I was up to date. So I think I did, how many stitches? So I worked on this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and I did 4,666 stitches in this to get it pretty much up to date. I was toying with the idea of doing this little cabochon over one, but then I didn't. I was like, it would look fine done over 2 like the rest of it, so I would just go over 2 and save myself 3 times the amount of work. But yeah, so we have obviously a couple of human skulls, cat skull I believe, and obviously a little cabochon with a human skull there. Lots of plants. We have a snake. We have a little frog. Oh, again, he needs some dark green in as well. And yeah, I believe the next part is already out, but I can't remember what it is, whether it's another plant or a skull. I can't remember. But yeah, really enjoying that. So I would like to keep up with this, partly because I think it's due to finish by the end of the year. I think it started in about September-ish, and we're already like 7 parts into 12, and it's only the start of November, so I'm sure it'll be finished. So it would be nice to have this finished by the end of the year so that I don't have to put it on my We're Properly board for next year. So yeah, so I might try, as long as I can achieve my other goals, keeping this one as a goal as well, to try and keep up with this each month. But yeah, and I've also got a new needle minder from Agnes. So got a little skull there with a butterfly on, which goes very well with this one. So that was my month. So that was all the whips that I worked on for this month. So yes, all my stitching whips. I did have one crochet whip that I worked on, so I mentioned it in my last video that I just started it, but I literally just had a white string. I'd done like 1 row. So so here it is a bit more. So this is the Islands cow, and I'm doing the full size version. So that's the width, no, the mid-size version. So that's the width, and I'm about the halfway mark, so it'll be sort of double that in length. But yeah, it's using mosaic crochet. So on the back you just get the stripes, and then on the front you get the pattern. So you've got some sort of eyelet crochet, and then mosaic crochet as well. But yeah, so really enjoying this. This one has sort of been more of a, it started as more of a travel project because it was quite small. It was easy to fold up. So, but now it's starting to get a bit too big just to chuck in the bottom of my handbag. So yes, this is now going to be more of a home project, which means it might slow down a bit on progress, because when I'm at home I normally stitch instead of crochet. So this one will probably only get done sort of when I'm watching, if I'm watching anything on TV, I might do this instead. But yeah, that's about half of it. Oh, and as per the pattern, she has a the border that she does is like an envelope border, which basically means all these tails I don't have to sew in, because as you do the border you enclose all of that, which I'm very much looking forward to, because I cannot be dealing with this. I believe this green blanket that I'm sitting on, that I crocheted, I did the same sort of border on, but I didn't really have many ends. So I think I'd wove the ends in as I went, so I didn't have any ends to weave in or leave in the border. But I did the same sort of envelope border on this. I can't remember why, whether it was just a fun new technique I found that I wanted to use. But anyway, that's what I did. So there we go. But yeah, so that is all my whips, everything I've worked on this month. Okay, so plans. Right, so this coming month, now I have, what have I got? Yeah, so I've got my 3 sort of goal whips that I have. So my pandemic, my bath time, and my castle walls. So my plan for this month on my castle walls is going to be to get all the navy blue stitching done. So I can't remember if I mentioned it when I had this at the first time. This is using Silks for You thread in 147 and 069, and the fabric is a 36 count cloud grey even weave fabric flare. So yeah, my goal this month is going to be to finish these navy. So I've got a navy line to do all the way up here and round, just sort of finish off this little bit here. This section's finished, and hopefully get this piece in. But because this is just a paper pattern, I don't know how many stitches that is. But I want to get at least the borders done, because then all that's going to leave is the little light blue section here, the light blue section here, and the navy blue in here. So I get at least the borders done. But obviously if that only takes sort of one sitting, then I will look at doing that part as well. You know, but I'll go from there. Yeah, so you know, I'll get 2 sittings in on this hopefully. And obviously if that's just the border, it's just the border. If it's the border and the centre, great. But yeah, so two sit-ins of working on this to get in. Oh, let's fold that up again. And I've had a look at my bath time and pandemic. So my bath time, and obviously I think I miscounted at some point, because there's only 2,500 stitches left to do to reach my end of year goal. So that I was doing 2,000 stitches every month, thinking that I still had 4,000 stitches to go, but I do have a bit less. So I thought, well, I'll bring my goal for this month down to sort of half of what I need, because I have 2 months left. So that takes me to 1,221 stitches. So 1,250 maybe, sort of on that minimum. And then pandemic, I'm still going to be doing my 1,500 on that, because it still needs about 3,000 to hit my goal. So that's those 3 pieces. My skulls, Sal, I would like to keep up to date on that. So I believe I'll have, see, I can't remember if they were coming out weekly or fortnightly, because I didn't pay attention when the sale was launched, and was just like, well, at the end I'll have the pattern, so that'll be fine. So I can't remember if it was weekly, fortnightly. I know it's not monthly, so, but I know it only started in sort of August, September as well. So I don't know how many sections I'll have to do on that, but it'll probably be, you know, each section's about maybe 750 to 1,000 stitches, I think, depending if it's like a block of a skull, which is virtually full coverage inside, or just a plant, which is just leaves. So I think there'll probably be at least 2 sections of that, so maybe 2,000 stitches, I think, I'm guessing, don't know. I could have prepared before this and actually just gone through my emails and noticed how often they were coming, but I couldn't be bothered, so I did not do that. But yeah, so that's my thought. So I've got my 4 pieces there. Now I will be going back to my Woodpopperly board, but also there's a couple of whips on my list that I'm not that far off finishing, and so it would be nice to actually get them finished by the end of this year, so that I didn't then roll them into another year. So one of those being Charlotte, so my John Clayton lady. I don't know if I've got pictures. If I have, I'll put them in. But I know I worked on her, I think just for one day, and got her almost half done, so I'm sure there's only like another, you know, 1,000 to 2,000 stitches left on her to finish her hat. So that's not a lot to finish. And then also there was the fantastic fungi that I pulled out at the Sweary Stitchers retreat, and that, I think I'm only just halfway through that, but it doesn't look like there's that much stitching left to do. Like it's quite block stitching, so what stitching there is quite fast. It's not like you're just doing 1 or 2 stitches here and then there and lots of counting. It's very blocky, so I can't see that taking up too much time either. So I'm hoping maybe to get those 2 finished by the end of this year, you know, and then I don't have to roll them over onto next year as well. But yeah, so those two are. The other whips I've looked at, I do think I have sort of a bit too much on there to do, sort of, you know, to actually get finished in 2 months with everything else that I want to be doing. So yeah, so I will be pulling those 2 out as well. So that'll give me, so my 4 gold pieces, so Bath Time, Pandemic, Castle Walls, Muscole Cell, and then those 2 to finish. That's 6 pieces, and then hopefully I'll get a couple of Whippopoly rolls in there as well. So I might try and alternate again between rolling on my board and then working on one of my gold pieces, and then hopefully get through all 6. I'm thinking with Bath Time, me only needing to put in kind of half as much as what I was doing. That means I've got, you know, a whole sort of chunk of time that I can then work on something else, which I will be then obviously doing one of those 2 goals, because it would be nice to have those 2 finishes on that. That'd be 3 finishes for the end of the year. You know, my Castle Walls, the Charlotte and the Fungi. So yeah, so that's my goals for this month. I know we're on, like, I don't know, the 9th or something, so we're already partway through the month. So whether I'll get everything touched, I don't know, but we'll see. Maybe my rolls will be nice and they'll all be really small and low, so then I only have to do a few hundred stitches on everything and then I get everything worked on. Like, I don't know. I haven't done my first roll for this month, so you watch I go up and do it, and I'll probably roll a 12 because that's the highest number I can do, and then I'll be very upset because clearly it's one of you that's cursed me with that. So not that this will have been aired by then, so no one will have watched it, but you know, I still think someone's cursing me, so yes, there we go. But yeah, what else have I got? October House Snip Snip pattern. You know, I write things down and then don't give them context. So this says Stitching with My Lily, which is, as we know, a Flosstube channel, and then next to it says October, I'm sure that says house, and then Snip Snip pattern. It's very cryptic. I can't remember why I wrote that down. I obviously wrote it down assuming that I would remember exactly what that meant, and I have no idea. Is it a pattern they're doing? With a house? Snip snip. Oh, okay, no, I remembered the snip snip. Right, I will put a photo in of the snip snip. I don't know if it's called snip snip or if I just wrote that, but it's scissors. There's scissors pattern. I'm sure I took a screenshot. I can't remember. I think it was it Kayla doing this one? I can't remember which one it was, but they picked up this pattern, and they also said that there's like a series of them with a few others, so I'm going to have to snoop and see, because I really quite like this pattern. So this is different scissors, and I believe she's doing it with all different sort of variegated threads, I think, or all different sparkly threads, or variegated sparkly ones. I can't remember. You'll have to go watch and see, because I'm going to have to go back and watch and see what that was. October House is probably the designer, and then Snip Snip is the pattern, which makes sense now, but when you just read it out loud it's very cryptic to start with. But I'm sure it's an October House pattern and it's called Snip Snip, and I really like the pattern. I'm going to put a screenshot in here. I've got to start adding slightly more context to these notes, like seriously, like what is this nonsense? But yes, So I will be having a look at those patterns. There is also a couple of new people that I would like to shout out. So we have, I think is it Dace or Darcy? Dace? I think it's Dace. I forgot to write down how it's pronounced. But I've just found their channel, and they have done beaded cross stitch. So where instead of using, you know, thread, they're using beads. And I believe they're doing a full coverage like that as well, which is a cat. You know, I'm saying this and I'm like, is this even the same person? I will explain in a minute why my brain's not working, but anyway, but that's what I wrote, so I'm assuming that is the right person that I'm thinking of. But yes, so you need to go check out their channel. Also, Addie's Cross and Quilts. They have lots of fancy ladies on theirs, and I believe they, so just behind where they film, they've done the Bella Filipinas, is it Glenda, the one on the broom stick, the Black Magic Society one. Anyway, but I really like the fabric they've done theirs on. If I think I took a screenshot. If I did, I will insert that here. But it's a sort of dark green fabric with like a white centre, which kind of makes it look like moonlight is shining through. Really like their fabric that they picked for that one. And there's also Citrus Stitcher, who has a cat called Francis. And that's all I wrote for them. But I obviously really liked their video, and so I wouldn't have watched it long enough to realise their cat was called Francis. So there we go. So there are 3 new channels for you to go watch with no context, but 3 new people that I found. So I will hopefully tag those below. But yes, so they are my shout outs for today as well. Looking forward to the end of the year and looking into next year when I start my new Repopoly, and I've got some new rules and some new bits and bobs to go on, new things that I've come up with from watching sort of other people's like sort of stitching games and Monopoly or a variety of other games. But I've got some new ideas from some people, so yes. But yeah, so thank you very much, and I will crack on with some shopping. So see you if you don't want to watch the shopping, but I'm here. So I'm going to pause here because I have a little bit of shopping to show you. Actually, it's quite a bit of shopping because I've got some of Mum's stuff here as well that she bought, because we went to the Knitting and Stitching show, which was down at Alexandra Palace in London. So I'm going to pause here, have a quick break. I'm going to move a few things around and show you what we bought and my plans with it all. So I will see you in a minute. Okay, there we go. I think I'm sorted. So put that there. Right, in probably no particular order. Let's not work this out. This, I didn't actually get this from the Knit and Stitch show. This was a recommendation I had from the Essex Needles retreat. So I was talking about my my brain's gone. What's this called? What is this? Book of Days. And that, you know, I've really enjoyed using it and I've kept up with it. It's really easy to keep up with, and and I need to get a new one. And Sandy across from me pulled out her one of these, and she's like, I use this. She said, it's very similar to the Book of Days, apart from it does 5 years. So, you know, each month has, you know, a blank with space, which is the same as Book of Days. I mean, it doesn't have, you know, the phrases and all the little quotes and things in. It also has an at a glance, so calendar and goals for all of the 5 years. A few blank spaces, and then it basically just sort of goes straight into each month of the year. There is places to write notes, places to add in, you know, I mean, it's just a diary. It's not an actual stitching diary, but it can do the same job. You know, it's a blank slate, sort of clean enough. Bit of note paper at the back, a few sheets of that. But yes, and I thought that this would be really handy, especially as my 5-year Flosstube anniversary is coming up this in 2025, and so it might be nice to obviously, because if I keep this for another 5 years, then as I'm coming into my 10th anniversary, if I'm still doing Flosstube in 10 years, but you know, my 10 years of I can look back over the last 5 years and it'll all be in one book, so I'll have kept it all, so it'll all be here. So I just figured it'd be nice to see that. And so I waited, because I had to wait until the new one was out, because it was still the 24 to 28 one. But yeah, waited, finally got this come up. So really like this design. I'm sure they do a few other covers as well, but this was from the dreaded A company that do next day delivery. But yes, got this. I think it was like 15 quid or something. It wasn't that expensive. If it was expensive, I wouldn't have bought it, so that's how I know it's not expensive. But yeah, I'm sure it was only about 15 quid. So on to the knitting and stitching show. Hawkins Hobbies was there, Zarina and Robert. So I bought this. I am 95% sure that I previously bought the cappuccino one of this from them. The more I look at this, the more I'm worried that I actually bought the latte one, so I may or may not have two. If I do have two, I will be probably giving one away. So, or swapping one, I don't know. But I'm hoping to get these. I think there's a latte, there's a cappuccino, there's an espresso, and there's a mocha. I think there's those four. Apparently they're out of print, so they are quite hard to come by. But, you know, I will, as I see them, I will collect them all. Obviously, if I do have two lattes, I will be giving one away or swapping one if someone happens to have a spare cappuccino or mocha or whatever the other one is. But we will deal with that when I get to my stash and actually go through and find what the other pattern is that I have. But yes, so bought that. Not sure if I'll be doing it on the, so it's the full kit, so not sure if I'll be doing it on the paper or not. Haven't decided. It depends how I'm going to finish them. If I want to do them all together, all four in like a square, then I will just do it on a piece of regular fabric. Not quite decided yet, but that's that one. You know, I didn't actually get another table out to do. Please hold. Right, there we go. I have another space to put things on as I pile down. So then can't remember what stall this was from, but this is a lettuce stitch. Yeah, lettuce stitch needlework kits. I really love those cats, so I had to pick this one up as a Halloweeny one. It's the full kit. They have their threads like that. Not sure if I like them like that. Oh, and they do have like a slit and a little circle in here to put, you know, when you've already pulled some, so it might be okay. But you know, might have to put that onto bobbins. We'll see. This is on an Ada. So I might be swapping that. It's on a 16 count Ada. Might be swapping that out for an even weave or, you know, or linen. But I'll see, obviously, when I look at the Ada. Then this is something different. This is a wool felt penny mat kit. It had bees on, which was quite cute. So it's a felted mat, and then you just applique all these sections on. So obviously you just get sheets, and there's a templates in here that you then cut out your pieces and sort of embroider them on, applique them on. So I thought that's quite unusual. It's, you know, a different craft. Thought might give that a go. But yes, I can't remember. I'm sure she did say sort of what a penny mat was, like how that came about, but I can't quite remember. So if anyone knows, feel free to let us all know it in the comments. Yes, and then I found the Love Poppet store, and I saw this from a distance because I think, you know, as you go down the aisles where all the stalls were, this was sort of quite far out, and I thought this was a Christmas design. I think just the colours, like the red and green houses and the moon, it kind of looked a bit sparkly, and I thought, oh, that's a Christmas one, what's that? And no, it's not Christmas, it's Halloween. That is a witch and her cat, and those, you know, little sparkles that I saw were actually sort of bats and stars. I mean, it is kind of just look like snow, so it's a bit wintry and Christmassy, but yeah, definitely one of these. So this looks quite fun to do. I love the sort of filigree effect of that moon. I know quite a few people have done this one recently. that I've seen. But yeah, so this is called Night Riders. And also, while I was on her stall, I saw these. So this is thread gloss, which she's a bit like. I'm gonna have to take it out. This I can't open this tin. Luckily it's just a screw and not a pop off like the Vaseline is. But she said it's sort of like Thread Heaven thread wax, but it's scented, and this one is pumpkin spice, and I can smell it, but you don't even have to put it under your nose. But I thought, oh, that smells really nice. So I thought I'd have to get me some of that. But yeah, I mean, it's supposed to work with thread, so I'm assuming the fact it's scented isn't going to stain the thread in any way. But I might not use this on white threads. I might have to keep this for sort of darker colours, just in case it does stain a little. Has anyone ever used this brand? They do loads of different scents. And obviously the scents were different colours. Like they did a berry one that was kind of pinky coloured, and I think a Christmas pine needle one, you know, Christmas scent, which was green. So, but yeah, it's from So Luxe Co. I think I had a little card. Yeah, how to use thread gloss, and basically you use it exactly the same as any other wax. But yeah, the So Luxe company at Etsy. But yeah, I don't know if you can know. I don't know why I bother holding things up to the camera. It never zooms in. But yeah, I will tag them below. But has anyone ever used it? Have you got anything I need to know about it? You know, have you found it? Does any staining or anything? I don't know. But I thought it smelled quite nice, and I thought, well, you know, I can use it on dark thread or dark fabrics, and if it stains a tiny bit, I'm not going to notice or care. And also I wash most of my projects when I'm done anyway, so hopefully if there was any residue it would wash off. I don't know. But I have some to try, so we'll give it a go. Also, while I was there, I saw this chart. She did have a couple of kits made up of other birds as well, which I thought I might have to get, but I thought I'll get this one for now. And also she's got kits for a bumblebee and a ladybird, but I didn't want the kits with the Ada, but she didn't have the patterns there that are already sold out. So I will be at some point on her website buying those patterns. But this is a wren in the snowdrops. But yeah, she has a little series of birds, and she is going to be doing some more. So yeah, these look very cute. I might have to get on a, it works out on 14 count, it works out to 4 inches in size. So, you know, quite a small hoop, so just a little series of them. If you did it on a smaller count, you know, if you go up to, I think it is calculated for 20 count as well, or 40 count. This is only 3.5 inches. So I suppose if you went a little bit smaller than that, you can make little Christmas ornaments. If you went up to like a 20, you know, like a 26 count, 28 count. But yeah, 62 by 65 is the size. So I'll leave that with those bits for now. Then I went round to Debbie's store, so at Doodlecraft Designs, and I already have the other 3 of this. This is her Elements series, so I already have fire, earth and water, and this is air. So this is the final one in that series that I have bought. It uses Zoe's silks, paintbox threads, Zoe's paintbox threads. But yeah, so it's all black work, and yeah, and this is air. So now I have the full series, so now I just need to, you know, stitch them. So, and whilst I was there, I also saw this design. So if you remember, I already have a chessboard from Debbie that I'm doing, which is all black work, and she has made a spooky gothic chessboard, which has so roses, these are white roses, skulls, you've got a snake on a sword, a love heart with sort of wings like a tattoo up there, more roses, poison apple, and more snakes. So that is, sorry about the glare, but I'm pretty sure if I try and take it out of the packet that would be worse with the sound. And then obviously black work in the centre of the alternate squares as well. But yeah, so quite like this one. She has charted it in to be done on white fabric as well, so with opposite colours, so you can buy either or. But yeah, really like this one. When I finish my other chessboard, I will get to this one. So, and then I also saw this little man, this little sea turtle. I was like, oh my god, I need that, but it is as a set. So we also have the kookaburra, the kangaroo, an emu, a koala, and the sea turtle. So this is her Australia set. Yeah, Australian Animal Collection. So yeah, really love this. I might do this in like sea greens and blues, navies, instead of the reds, because that might be nice to do that one. Yeah, all in blues and greens, and I quite like that kookaburra. At a distance, I thought that was a kingfisher, I think because of the blue stripe, and then when I got closer, I'm like, kingfishers aren't that size or that shape. So yeah, quite like him up there as well. But yes, so I got that. This one. Lovely Debbie actually gifted me this chart, so I didn't have to buy this one, but yeah, she gifted me this one, so thank you very much. Yeah, so I've got that one as well. You know, because I don't have any other things to stitch, so I need to make some space, hence I want to get at least a couple more finishes this year so I can make some space on my Wipopoly board. Then I saw another stall. So this is Pineapple Fibres. No, Pineapple Fibre Art, and she makes some mandalas, and this is a crochet pattern. So you can see these are kind of like puff stitch flowers, and they're very small. They use like a 4-ply thread and like a 3mm crochet hook. I mean, these hoops are only 8 inches, I think. Yeah, 20cm hoop. Oh, it's a 2mm crochet hook, so it's a lot smaller. But yes, they're very fine, and she had quite a few different colourways, but I really liked this one, which is her Peach Blossom colourway. So I picked that one up. So there is a kit, you know, comes with all the threads and the hoop, I believe. Yeah, this kit contains the yarn, the ribbon. I can't see the ribbon, I'm assuming it's the ribbon just to hang the hoop up. The hoop and the pattern and chart. All you need is the 2mm crochet hook, some scissors and a needle to weave in your ends. But yeah, and this is a confident beginner pattern. Looks really good. So yes, so would definitely recommend some of these kits. She also does smaller ones and bigger ones. I think she's currently working on quite a big mandala piece to go on a really big hoop. But yeah, she does a whole variety of sizes as well. And I also saw these, which are quite cute. So I just picked up the pattern because I'm like, I have so much yarn. But these are little baubles, Christmas baubles. So you can do them around wooden balls. And so that, I suppose you could do them around polystyrene balls as well, like, you know, whatever you've got. So it's the just a bauble pattern. And obviously you pick your own colours, and that's what, you know, changes the effect. She does sell these as kits, and she has told me that the kits she does, these balls, she buys like the semicircle balls, semi-sphere. So you get 2 half spheres, and then as you crochet them, you would then place them together and seal it up. So you do a half crochet around one half, crochet around the other half, put the 2 halves together, and then you do your whip stitch around the middle, which makes sort of this little ridge here, or this ridge there. But the reason she does that is because then these can go through the post and they fit through a letterbox. So if you want to buy little kits for yourself or as a gift, they will post through the letterbox, and which is really handy. So yes, so she just sell those, but they just look so cute, and I was like, I need like 50 of them. So yes, maybe not this year because we're in November and I haven't even got this pattern out to stitch something, but maybe next year I will make a bunch of these to gift to people. You know, but yeah, big chart, large text on the pattern, you know, looks well written. There's pictures guiding you through as well. So yeah, really recommend these. But yes, not that I know if any of you crochet, but if you do, I recommend those. So now I have a little box. The box wasn't from there, it was just a box I found, but I put these in the box. Now these, I know somebody. I have a friend that goes to the Essex Needles retreat, Alison, and she always makes such cute little you know, accoutrements. So whether it's a scissor fob or little biscornu or a little needle book or a house, or I think at one point she did like a Fabergé egg, and she like all cross stitch, all cross stitches, but makes things, and they're so delicate, and the colours are amazing. And there was one set she bought one year, and I asked what it was, and she told me the designer, and because my brain is useless, I instantly forgot what the design was. But I then saw some, I'm like, oh my god, that's Alison's person. She gets them from. So this is Needleworks by Sue Hawkins, and this is her autumn range. And I'll hold this up. This is a whole set. So you've got a 15-sided biscornu, then a sort of, I believe this is like a regular, you know, 2-sided biscornu, 2-piece biscornu, but it's a small one that goes on a scissor fob. And then this is a bobbin on it. So the bobbin is, so you have a magnet that you affix to the bobbin, and the bobbin has a hole in for your scissors. And then she does these sets for each season, all different colourways. So I picked the autumn because these are my favourite colours. Comes with all the beads that you need, all the threads, and the plastic canvas, and all the instructions are in there as well. But yes, so I finally got my hands on some of these charts so I can make some of these really pretty things that Alison does. So yeah, and they're not all cross stitch, some of these, so it's a mix of sort of cross stitch and needlepoint, and some different, I mean, I don't want to call them specialty stitches because they are just a means of putting the needle up one hole and then down another hole, you know, but you know, just in different shapes, so to make a bigger cross or a smaller cross. But yeah, this is a Dorset button that I believe it tells you how to make as well. But yes, really looking forward to those. So I can, yes, finally make some of the cute things that Alison does. And then this is the little bobbin that you get with the kit, and the magnet that you affix for it to hold your needles. And as you can see, there's a hole through there for your scissors. And try and take the magnet off of my finger. There we go. But yes, so got it all there in that little kit. And Sue Hawkins, yes. So as well as doing those sets in the 4 seasons, she has, you know, different designs for everything. She does bookmarks, thread keeps, I think, little houses, little house shaped things, mini biscornus that, you know, you would tower up. But yeah, she had this whole store was just full of different things, and they're all amazing. And I think I had to just pick one thing to start with, or I was just going to buy everything. But she's also working on some larger patterns as well. So one of them being a 15-sided biscornu, but it's like this big, so like a doorstop size, that she's currently working on, which I'm really looking forward to, because I thought I might have to make one of those, because that looks really fun. But yes, so that was, oh yes, that's more of her instructions. Then I went round the corner to Zoe's stalls. This is paint box threads, and I got a couple more sets of sort of pre-packaged sets. So she does all the colours individually, but you can also get sets that she's put together. You know, that's what I mean. So this one's called Drifters by the Shore, but I really like the blues and the browns on that one, the way they go together. So that looked nice. And then I picked up this set. Now, I'm not sure if you remember from my last video, one of the charts I won from the raffle was a Quaker sampler, but I said I wasn't going to do the whole sampler. I liked the motifs at the bottom, and then I liked the pineapple, so I was going to put the pineapple at the bottom and make it into a drum. And these are the colours that I'm going to use for that. And I also have, very scruffily, because I had to untwist this for a reason, but I have a dark brown of hers as well. So I'm going to be doing that in these colours. So this is the Rose and Gold colour pack, and then this is the dark brown colour number 18, so just a dark brown there. Sort of go with those. But yeah, so really looking forward to that. This is it's pearl cotton. Sorry, I didn't mention that. So this is pearl 12, which is about 1.5 times as thick as a DMC. So I also bought some fabric from her. I don't think this fabric is named, just that it's fat quarter sized. So this piece just as a backing fabric, I'm not sure what for, but I absolutely loved the colour. So really bright. It's a bit darker than this, a bit more purpley, dark. Can I get the colour to show? No. Anyway, it's a bit darker, a bit more blue than that. It's showing up quite pink. But I do love the mottling that she gets on her fabrics. So this is just regular quilting fabric, not for cross stitch, as I keep getting told. So, but then I did pick up this, which is a lighter one. So this is a bit, this has a pink, sort of pinky grey undertone. It's showing up quite beige on the screen. You know, I tell you what colour it shows up, but that's irrelevant because I have a blue light filter on my screen, so everything shows up kind of yellowy. But yeah, so this is kind of purpley pinky grey. Yeah, and it is just quilting fabric, but like the other piece of quilting fabric, I used the navy blue. I am hoping to use this to cross stitch on, so I will probably end up cross stitching over 2 because doing that over 1 was effort. And over 2 I can sort of get away with the DMC, sort of 1 strand DMC over 2 I can get away with, whereas doing it over 1 I have to use like the, is it the micropore? No, that's a tape. The polyester stuff I've got, which is really hard work to work with because it doesn't want to bend to make the stitches, so if you kind of loosen your tension too much, all the stitches just almost unravel and get really loose. So it was a bit harder to work with. So yeah, so I might stitch them over 2, maybe a tiny little sampler or something, a little delicate thing. So that is my plan for that one. Now in here I have a few more goodies, although I promptly misplaced this that I bought. So this is, oh, there's a tiny thing. So I went to the Daisy and Grace. So this, they are part of Missouri Star Stitching, Missouri Star, Missouri Stitching, Missouri something, which is in the channel on Flosstube on YouTube. It's a quilting channel. But Daisy and Grace, so they sell all different fabrics, which I did buy some of. Now English paper piecing is something I've looked at, but it does look very time consuming. I'm like, I don't have the patience to make anything that size, like a quilt size with EPP. But I saw these little kits for some jewellery, so a brooch, pair of earrings, necklace, and I was like, oh, I could do like English paper piecing for like something small, like that would be fine. So yeah, so I picked up this little kit. It's got all the colours, all the attachments, all of the papers. But yeah, so really looking forward to giving that a go. And then from her stall I also picked up some fabrics. So I picked up this fat quarter bundle. No, this is from Puddle Duck Quilts. Okay, I picked this up from another stall. It's a fat quarter bundle. Can I get that down? So all dinosaurs, sort of different dinosaurs, dinosaur footprints. That is a plain blue. More dinosaurs, small dinosaurs, and plain green. Because I'm going to make my nephew a quilt for Christmas. So I need to get a wiggle on with that because it's now like November and I'm not started. So I'm thinking of making him like a hexagon. No, a octagonal quilt so that you have the octagons and then the squares in the middle. So that's probably the shape that I'm going to go with. But yes, so looking forward to doing that for him. I do have some other sort of plain coloured fabrics that would go with this, like backing fabric, and that I already have. But yeah, so purchased that. Now this is the stuff that I got from Daisy and Grace, that makes sense. So she was doing a few little bundles, fat bundles, so I got some neutrals because I have so many fancy fabrics, same as with cross stitch, but no neutrals. They do have like vague patterns on, so you know you can see sort of thing. They do have, oh, you can see there in the shadow a bit better, but yeah, they all do have patterns on, but are neutral. Picked up a neutral pack, but these are all sort of gold, shiny gold or copper metallic, but this isn't like, this is a really easy metallic to sew through. It's not that kind of one that will flake off, so really looking forward to working with some of those. And then picked up this set which had the same sort of metallics on, sort of a couple of teals and black to go with those. And then saw this one, which was a bumblebee sort of colours, sunflowers, daisies. Really like that one as well. Not too sure what I'll use this for, whether I'll use this as sort of backing fabrics or like a little lap quilt of it or something, but it was pretty, so I bought it. I have no excuse, that's it, that was the reason. But yes, and then I saw Yarn Mixology, which I bought some of their yarn mixes before. Oh, there's stuff in the bottom of that bag. So I bought some more. So this is blue agate, so going into rich blue and yellows. Really like that. Not sure what I'll use these for, whether they'll be for shawls or, you know, summery tops. This is Tweed Caribbean, so the colours are all tweeded together, as opposed to that which you start with one colour and then it just fades. Then I picked up this colour which I really liked, which is Acer, so which is like a sunburst colour. And then this was their special that they did, which she had posted me separately because they were out of stock. She hadn't expected it to be quite as popular, but this is Northern Lights with a sparkle filament as well. And this is going to be a shawl, so looking forward to that. Do I have time to knit 4 more shawls? No. But I have the yarn, and they're very pretty colours that can, you know, sit on my shelf and get knitted up at some point. So, and then finally I went to the Toft stall, where I've got quite a few of their charts and patterns, and I'm not sure what that is. So I bought some yarn to make, does it say in here? No, it probably does not. No, so they've sent me, you bought the digital pattern, but then, so you bought the yarn and then you could have the pattern digitally, which I just did. So I've got, I believe it's, yeah, one is a shark, great white shark, so I'm going to make for my nephew because he loves sharks. And then one was their Halloween spider, which I'm going to be doing in sort of like a pastel punk big spider. So I have that one as well. Also picked up some pins, because the pins I have are older than me and they are starting to go blunt and scabby. So yeah, picked up some pins from the quilting sale lady. Ooh, and these are really handy. I want to let you know about these. These are buttons. I'm very conscious of the time and I'm still talking about stuff that I bought. I'm looking forward to buying some more buttons from this lady as well. So this is Kate Holiday handmade ceramic buttons. So her website is kateholiday.co.uk. There we go. So yeah, buttons can be machine washed, turn the garment inside out, or placed in a wash bag to avoid the button being smashed. But these I got for a cardigan that I'm going to be doing, which is a test knit cardigan. But these, they look a bit like shell on the back. They're ceramic, but on the front they're glazed, and these ones have got pinky flowers on, which will go really well with the green yarn that I bought for the cardigan. So I bought a whole set of those to go for that. But also she had loads of different styles. So you've got kind of your Delft styles like that. So you've got like the navy blue as well, which is a bit more like the Delft pottery. But then she also had animals, so she had a lot of bumblebee ones. So I do want to get some bumblebee ones for something, but I didn't know what for, so I didn't know how many to buy, so I didn't buy those. But yeah, all different animals. She's got like ones with flowers on, ones with leaves, ones different animals, sort of like little houses as well. There's some little houses, little seaside views, clocks, almost anything that could go on a button she has. I'm going to leave those out except for my new project. But yes, so, and something else that I got from Toff while I was there was a trick or treat box. So this was a apple piece, and yeah, it was a trick or treat. So obviously you didn't know which one you were buying from the outside of the box, but it was one of the set, and it wasn't the one I wanted, but it is very cute anyway. So this is a green apple that is wearing a little ghost outfit, and he's got a stick, so he's a toffee apple. The one I wanted had a little spider on, but what I'm hoping to do is, after I've knitted him up, is swap this pattern with someone else that I can find that has the pattern for the one with the little spider on. So I'll probably be going on to the Toff Facebook group and seeing if I can do a swap after I've made it. But yeah, and you've got everything in here that you need. You've got all the yarns. Obviously the pattern is on the back of here. All the different amounts of yarn that you need. The stick, you know, to make them into a toffee apple, so you've got the stick as well. But yeah, so I bought that. So that was my trick or treat box. Right, now I have some stuff from Megan to show. So Megan at Coffee Crafts Fabric. So I had ordered from her the Halloween surprise box, Halloween advent box, and my plan had been to open these, you know, each day, and do a short video on having it done, but I ended up in the hospital, so I did not do that. So I haven't even opened any of them. So I'm going to do this as a separate video of just me opening these. This box here, this is stuff that the three of us, so me, my mum and my sister, have ordered. So, what is, no, I don't even know what this is. Caution, sharp. Okay, so this looks like, right, okay, I don't know if that's the fabric she picked or this is. I think this is Mum's, but she's not opened it yet. But she knew I was going to show this on my video, so I'm going to open it first, because she's had it for like 2 weeks. So if she didn't see it first, that was her problem. So I'm going to be opening this. So this is an envelope from Megan. What's in here? Okay, it is fabric. Yeah. Oh, it is pieces of fabric. Haha. Oh, I know what this is. Yes. Haha. So this is the fabrics for the houses, Sal. So the I can't remember what company it is. You all know what it is. The one with all the houses that came out this year, this current Sal. But yeah, so 40 count fabric, the sort of 10-inch squares or whatever they are, ready for that. So that's what these are. So that makes sense. There we go. So, but anyway, they're great. They look like they'll be perfect for it, which is what I expected. But yes, so there is what is there? 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, all 12 fabrics ready for that. Not sure when I'm starting that. I do need to buy the fancy flosses for this. I've got the regular floss I bought from Lindsay. I bought the regular flosses, but they are the fancies. Ooh, another little envelope. Again, this one's Mum's. I'm going to open it anyway. So, oh my god, why is it so hard to get into tissue paper? I swear, this is like Mission Impossible. Haha, here we go. Oh, very nice. I might have to have these. I might have to secretly swap these out these are some stalk scissors, but they are black and silver. So yeah, UK Needle Minders is the company on the wing. But yes, oh, very nice. So they even go with my nail varnish. Like, I might have to yoink these. But these are what she got as part of a set. So I don't know if you remember how I bought a set for the tiny town. So this was Mum's, and see if you can work out what the chart is. We've got raven, we've got a little skull on there, and I'm assuming this is an odd fabric, so I'm assuming this is the piece of fabric she's bought for it. So pinks and blues and purples. Fold that up again, and see if you've guessed yet. And this is the needle minder. Let me pop that on there to show you. That says Poe Spirits, and that is a picture of Edgar Allan Poe. Are we there yet? Have you caught on? This is the chart she bought. So this is from Tiny Modernist Cross Stitch, and it is Nevermore. So it is the cake shelf. It's called a tree, but it looks like a shelf. I mean, it's not, because this is a branch and these are other branches. I think it looks like one of those little cake tier shelves, but Nevermore. So there we go. So Edgar Allan Poe tree by Tiny Modernist. But yes, so that is what she's bought with all of those. But yes, so then we got some fabrics, as always. Right, so in no particular order, because I'm not sure whose is whose. So we've got browny pink there, sort of a yellowy green, just a nice sort of springtime one. What's this? Blues and greys. Well, this one looks fun. This is kind of dark, grungy, greeny, swampy yellowy green. Then we've got this one, which is sort of a blue and maybe peach. Then this one's nice. This one's really bright, sort of blues, yellows. So that one looks quite fun. This is, oh, I think this is the same as that, but this one's Ada and this one is linen. So there we go. And this is a grey blue, but with some like streaks of neon yellow over it. It's fun. Then here is an opalescent sort of yellowy gold one. I think this is the same, but this is an opalescent-y one and this is not. And then a sort of pinky brown, but more reddy pink. But yeah, and that's opalescent as well. Megan send. I always tell Megan to send all of our stuff just in the one parcel, and then we sort it out when we're here. So she just put the names inside each piece of fabric, so we remember who's whose, so there's no fighting when we actually get them. But yeah, so they will be sorted later. And what else have I got? No, I've already shown that. Oh, I have one more yarn thing. So this was the 5-year anniversary colour for Castle View Yarns. So they're based in Norfolk, I believe. I bought some of her yarn from the yarn festival that I went to a couple of years back. Oh no, Suffolk. Okay, well, almost Norfolk. I'm pretty sure everyone from Norfolk and Suffolk now are going to get into a massive argument in my comments. But, you know, the counties are next to each other. Like, you're over that way somewhere, it's fine. I'm in Cambridgeshire, so I border those places. But yeah, Castle View Yarns, and this was her 5th year anniversary. So obviously she called this yarn 5 for 5 years. Now, this yarn did have an accident in my house and something got spilled on it, so I have had to wash it. So that's why it's not in its skeins. but I will just drag one of them over. I bought 4 because I'm hoping to make this pattern with it. So it's a DK weight yarn, and look at those colours. It's purple, it's blue. I'm getting it caught on my splint, so on my fingers. So let me just do a twisty so that you can see the colours a bit more. But yeah, so it's blues, it's pinks, it's lots of really rich purple. But yeah, very fun. So I bought 4 skeins. So this chart here, now they've done several variations of this chart. So they've done I think a long sleeve version, the short sleeve version. This is a cropped one as well, and I think they do like a full length. There are some changes you can make in the chart, like it tells you where to add and take away length if you want it longer, shorter. So I might be leaving this as a cropped sweater, and trying to lengthen the sleeves. So the sleeves are kind of quite short in it, and I don't like, my arms get very cold up here, so I might be trying to make it like a 3/4 length, or even just above elbow instead of below elbow. So that's what I'm going to try and do, but it might mean that I have to leave it cropped because I'm not sure how much yarn I have. But I think you start at the top and work down, so I will see how we go, and we'll get there. But obviously, because it's going to be cropped and short, it'll be a summery top, so I've got loads of time, so I don't even have to start it until like July. So that'll be a project for next year. I believe that is everything. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to open my Halloweeny box with you all in a separate video, because we are at 1 hour and 56 minutes. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to crop out like half of this, because there was definitely a few times where I tailed off. But yes, and that is everything. So thank you very much for watching, if indeed you still are, and I will see you soon. Hopefully a bit closer than the end of the month, because my videos seem to be getting longer and longer, and I'm hoping that if I do more regular videos they won't be as long. I don't know. I talk a lot, so I'm pretty sure if I did a video every week I could still stretch it out to an hour, but I'm going to try and do some shorter videos, because I appreciate there are so many Flosstubers out there, and spending 2 hours with me is a lot of your time. But thank you very much for joining us, and I will see you all soon. So I love you lots, and bye bye for now.